of these where you can give a solid answer to it.
There's no answer that you'll feel good about. Right?
Yeah, there's no acceptable answers today, so just don't even ask. You'll be disappointed.
It's okay, and it's not here.
I have it. Okay, we're doing assignment 33, part writing rules. Whoops. Okay. All right, so I kind of am just going to take these 2 pages and just talk through the rules. And then, so like assignment 33 is really on the back. It's on page 56. And then really what you're doing is error recognition. So I'm going to show you stuff that's wrong, and then you're going to tell me what's wrong with it. That's what the assignment's going to be. Okay? So, first one, we've done this, but let's talk through it again. Spacing. You cannot have more than 1 octave between soprano and alto, or alto and tenor. How about tenor and bass? It's fine. It's fine, because the principle here is 3 and 1. 3 on the top, 1 on the bottom. It's a little confusing because we usually think 2 and 2, but this is actually 3 and 1. Okay? So, can I have an octave? You can have exactly an octave. You couldn't have a minor 9. Okay? Going on. Voice crossing. If a soprano note is above an alto note in one chord, it should not go below the alto note in the next chord. This would be true of all vocal parts with their adjacent vocal part. All right, so here we're looking at, look at that measure 3. Look at the tenor part. The tenor part. It starts on a D, and it goes to an F sharp. What's the problem?
It's above the alto.
It goes above the alto. Okay? Now, there's kind of 2 facets to this rule. One is that, like, you have to look vertically, like in this example, where you see how the tenor is above the alto of the same chord. However, you also have to look horizontal. So look at the next measure. Look at the soprano and alto. So the alto starts here on an E. It ends on a C. Yes, it is below the soprano. However, it goes above where the soprano was. And that's a problem. I don't know if that's weird, but you can't do that, okay? If we were here, the next chord has to stay within this boundary. It can't go above it. Okay? The alto can't go above where the soprano was. Is that confusing?
Can it be on the same?
Yeah.
It can be on the same note. But even if it was a half step more, no. Is that true? I think that's true. Okay. Good so far? Can I keep going? Confused yet? Okay. Tendency tones. Oh, I should have been using this vocab word. Okay, this is a big vocab word on the test. Tendency tones is what we just did the last 2 days. Okay? Ti, do, fa, mi, those are called tendency tones. They have a tendency to go up. They have a tendency to go down. That's all that it is. It's just using a word I didn't use before. But you already know this rule, right? Ti goes up, fa goes down. Those are tendency tones. Any questions there? Okay, moving on. Okay, parallels. This is about horizontal motion. Avoid mirroring movement of 2 voices if those voices are spaced at an octave. Make sure that you are analyzing even non-adjacent. What do I mean by non-adjacent parts? Soprano to bass. Soprano to bass. So that is the case in measure 7. Look at soprano, look at bass. See how they start at an octave? They start at an octave, and then the next chord, they're at an octave again, but they moved. That's a no-no. Okay? So, when you guys do this in your part writing assignments, when you do this in your part writing assignments, here's what Misa and I will write. We're going to do this. Line 8. That means you did a parallel octave, don't do that. Okay? Next rule is the same thing with fifth. You will see us write 5. Okay?
Parallel fourths are okay though.
Parallel fourths are okay. Also, okay, watch this. This is important. This is something that I taught Misa. I'm so proud of myself.
I taught you anything.
This is okay. Because why?
It's to try to tell.
Because this is what? This is what? Oh, not this. Sorry. I meant this. Sorry, this is P5. This is what? Diminished 5, right? So they're not the same thing. So parallel perfect fifths.
And you can have parallel tritones, right?
Sure. I mean,
You wouldn't, like that
You
wouldn't
won't.
happen, but you could.
yeah, you won't. Okay. Okay. Doubled LT, which means what? Leading tone. You will remember that leading tone resolves up to the top tonic because it's a tendency tone. Therefore, in a 4-part chord, you should not double the leading tone because the resolution tendency would create parallel octaves. It's like, there's nothing inherently evil in a double leading tone, but a leading tone has to move. And if 2 of them had to move, what happens? Parallel octaves. Parallel octaves. Okay? The test is going to give you one more. Okay, let me talk about a general principle here. This is the next 3 months. I have to tell you something general. This goes back to the conversation about the test is so big, so sweeping in its scope, that Misa and I have to make some decisions about how to keep the pace up. So we do something that 4.0 students hate. We intentionally we cut some corners. We skip some material because it's on the test, but it's not a big part of the test. So what we're doing is we're making a calculation that it is okay for you to drop 1 point here if it means we can help you pick up 7 points somewhere else. I know that's not what you like, because you guys want to get 100%. You won't get 100%. So we're kind of choosing on your behalf which points you're going to give up. So, like, in this lesson of part writing rules, there's one that I skip. It's called chordal sevenths. Chordal sevenths, C-H-O-R-D-A-L. So the 7th of a chord. And the principle is just that the 7th of a chord, according to AP College Board, resolves down. Unless it's Tito fa mi, oh no, it would always go down, right? So like, if you saw something like this, I'm going to show you really quick, but we're not really going to practice it because you see it pretty rarely. Okay, can you analyze this chord?
DFAC.
Okay, Roman numeral?
2. 7.
2-7. Okay? Which note here is the seventh of the chord. Okay, so the rule is that the seventh of chords are supposed to go down. Like, even if it's not a dominant seven, so they wanted the next chord of this to go there. Okay? And one of the reasons why I skip it is because it's pretty intuitive and most of you do it most of the time anyway. Just know that I'm not going to really spend time on this rule, and then you'll see it in the test. You'll be like, you didn't teach us that. And I'll say, I know. Sorry. We just had to move. Okay, so that's resolution of chordal sevens. But that's an easy one, I think. What's one of the ones you're going to make the most mistakes of in this assignment?
This one?
When you start doing part writing, which ones will you mess up the most?
Tendency tone, parallel octaves.
It's parallels.
Parallels.
It's 100% parallels. Fifths and octaves. Because of that whole non-adjacent voice part thing, like soprano to bass, you don't always see it. Sometimes it's kind of like hiding and you just don't see it.
If there's a fifth that has like from bass and soprano,
Uh-huh.
that counts.
Yep, that counts. And like, this is one of those things that you need to be okay with. Your papers are gonna start looking very bloody. Misa, like, we don't believe in like, not marking something to save your hurt feelings. You need to see everything. And so initially, they look really bad. And then over time, Corbin, they get better. They get better. So I just want you to know that we're not worried about it. If you are getting these wrong, we don't really care. Until mid-April, and then I care. But you'll get better at it. Parker? Corbin? Okay, so those are the principles. Anything that did not, there's another one, but I want to teach it because it's common sense. It's range. Range just means, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, right? Don't write a tenor part. Don't do that. That's the range rule, right? Okay. Did I miss anything? Okay, so we are looking at page 56. Identify the part writing error. There could be multiple on each, which means there are multiple on each. Okay, so what's the shorthand here? You could just write LT for double leading tone. You could do, you could write PAR5. You know what? You could probably write 5. Right? You could write 8.
Little thing, like a little.
Yeah, you could do the line, right? You could do something like this. Tendency tone, you could do this. That's tendency tone. Voice crossing, Lisa usually writes this. Okay, so that's the shorthand. Would you like me to do a couple with you?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1. Okay, right off the bat, there's one that's really okay. In addition to like finding these part writing errors, there's something you kind of need to do first. What is it? An analysis. You're going to have to do a harmonic analysis because you got to know what you're looking at. So analyze your chords. Will there be inversions? Probably. Oh, and then spacing. Spacing, I usually do like, I'll do like this. That's spacing. And I draw it to the error, right? Too big a space in between, and you can write space if you want. Okay, so number 1, look at the second chord. Look at the second chord. Look at the alto part. The alto is a B. And it goes above the A where the soprano had been. So that's a crossing error. So you can write an X inside that. Okay. Can someone analyze the first chord for me in the key of G?
5/7.
5/7. So we have some tendency tones in play. Did they resolve correctly? Fa, did you say no?
Yeah.
Can you tell me like what happened?
From C to B.
Right. So this is one of those like kind of ticky-tack things, because if you look at the C in the tenor, it's supposed to resolve to the B. You might try to make the argument, well, it did. I mean, I know what you're saying, but it didn't, because the tenor went up. Yes, I know that the note you need is there, but that is the bass note, and that doesn't count. That doesn't count, okay? So there's a fa mi problem. What about T-do? Is there a T-do problem? There is. T is what note? The alto, there's no F. Sharp. Boom! F sharp, and that is supposed to go to the alto G. Alto went to B. So we have T-do, fa mi, and voice crossings. Is there anything else? Technically, this is a violation of chordal sevenths going down, but we've kind of already covered it in fa mi. Yes.
So how would you analyze the second chord?
Yeah, because it's just,
It's just B, D, just B, D.
Oh, yeah, because there's like no real,
Yeah, like how much?
Tonic there. yeah,
Probably why there's so many problems.
yeah, yeah. So
How do you want to
Is it, do I put a third?
What if
So-
Like 3?
I had a teacher once say like, when I grade papers, I think what I want to see is that you knew what was happening, you knew what you were looking at, and you could tell me that. So if you didn't analyze the chord and you wrote something in there that said, duh, that's the problem, that tells me everything I need to know, right? If you said like, there's no root, yeah, which is why this is a problem, right? So I'm not looking for like an exact answer, but if you can explain your reasoning, I will probably take it. Okay? Should I do another?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what key are we in? Jane, what key are we in?
Okay.
Yes, we're in F. Oh, this is a weird one. Okay, analyze your chords, guys. Can anyone call out what the first chord analysis is?
5/4/2.
5/4/2. And remember, we memorized something the other day. What did we memorize? Does this go to 1/6? It
Yes.
actually does, but it does it the wrong way. Okay? So, where to start? Let's look at our T-do. What note is T on the first chord? E in which voice part?
Alto.
Okay, does it go up to F? I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
There's an F, but it didn't do it. The soprano did it. So we have a T-do problem. What about fa mi? Do we have a fa mi problem? We do. Even though it goes to the right note, it's the wrong octave, it doesn't count. So we have a fa mi problem. Do we have any spacing issues? No. Do we have any crossing issues?
No.
No. Do we have any parallel issues? No. So that's it. T-do, fa mi, those were your problems. Okay? Let's keep going. Number 3. Okay, what do you see on the first chord? Well, do your analysis, write your chords in. Okay, you ready? What do you see on the first chord? Let's start by looking at the tenor and the alto. What do you see? That is an octave and a third. So we have spacing. Did the spacing problem fix itself in the second chord? Yes.
Yes, but no?
Well, spacing, yes. But in doing so, it created more problems. Does it have a crossing problem? Look at the tenor and bass. Tenor and bass. Do you see that the second chord bass note G goes higher than the F sharp where the tenor was? That's a no-no. So we have spacing and we have crossing. Okay, let's look at our tendency tones. In the first chord, which note is T in the key of G?
Key of D.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, key of D, my bad.
C sharp.
Oh, so we were on one, my bad. So we're good there. Okay, so we're good. Spacing and crossing. Okay, I'm gonna do one more with you, and then I'm done. What key are we in? Yeah, E flat. E flat, and what's your first chord called? It is a 5 chord. So when you hear 5 chords, something should be going off in your head. Tendency tones, right? Okay, so which note is T? D. See anything weird? There's 2 of them. So this is a doubled leading tone. Double LT. That's a no-no. The soprano D moves to an E flat. The alto D moves to an E flat. That's a no-no. Any crossing problems?
Parallel octaves at the top, right?
Yeah, parallel octaves, double leading tone. I don't see any crossing, I don't see any spacing. Okay, raise your hand if you're completely with me. Okay, little fuzzy? Ooh, that's a lot. Okay? Well, then look, we're doing 33, and 34 is the same thing. 34 is the same thing. So let's do 33 and 34. I've done 4 for you. You've got 12 left. Like, work together, help each other. Me and Misa are here, but I think that's as much as I'm going to do on the board. Okay? So, go. Yeah.
Is there a specific way you want us to write, like, T doubles